15 minutes ago.
Okay, on August the 9th, it was decided that we would paint the curbs up there by HRK and Taco. And they were to run from the crosswalk to the driveway on both sides. And I noticed the other day there was a truck and a trailer parked on the east side. And that the lines was not painted as scheduled.
The lines are painted, but it wasn't the whole,
It was
We-
to the driveway.
that ordinance never passed, or that was never brought up, no ordinance never created. We just did what the standard traffic ordinance already has in play, where it's 30 foot from a stop sign, 20 foot from a crosswalk. That's why they're only partially painted. I measured out 30 foot.
It was my understanding that, let's see, Clinton Jeffries advised that at the intersection of Roosevelt and Main Street between HRK and Taco, his recommendation is to either paint the curbs yellow from the crosswalk to the driveway on both sides of the street with no parking, or put up no parking signs.
And council didn't
That's my-
council didn't approve that.
They
So,
did-
no, I just marked where the ordinance is already in place, the STO is already in place for every stop sign and every crosswalk in town.
It says discussion held, Chief Jeffries advised we still have yellow paint the curbs, so we could start with that and see if that resolves it.
Right, and that's what we did. We started painting the curbs, what the standard traffic ordinance allows, without passing a new ordinance.
All right. So that truck and that trailer was parked illegally, because it was parked in the yellow.
If it was parked, yeah, then it would have been, yeah.
It was. Okay, that's all I have.
Anyone else? Clinton, you have anything? Council?
Nope, nothing.
Jim, you have anything else? Margaret? Susan?
Just thank you for letting me be city attorney.
Well,
The first issue swearing
Yeah, 1:30.
good
And I
luck
told
with
the mayor
your,
cookies were at 2, so,
good luck with your new job.
thank you.
Tiffany?
I do have one comment. We're all aware of the, bill issue that was sent out at the beginning of the month. I took a call Friday afternoon from Broadstroke, which is the company that we use in Wichita to distribute our bills out. And they felt just as bad about the issue, because they said usually they try to catch those things on their end, of things. And so he advised me that, we have not received an invoice for that yet, but he advised me that they will not charge us for labor or materials, and they will only charge for postage for that second bill.
Okay. Roger?
Just a couple of quick updates. The hike and bike trail application was submitted last Friday, both electronically and a paper packet. So we were submitted before the deadline. Now we wait to see what will come back on that. I do appreciate the committee's involvement. They went out and received multiple letters of support from different organizations and businesses in the town to help enhance our application.
Okay.
Tomorrow, the small water tower repairs begin. They'll be bringing in 2 semi mounted sandblasting equipment and then the reservoir to do all of that work, as well as the welding rig. School has been contacted, where the team's in the process of draining the tower right now, so those repairs will get started on that. I mentioned earlier the 12.5 we did because of the back order 3 times on the wire. The start date's been shifted to December 6th. Tomorrow, we'll be participating in the GridX, which is the cybersecurity training seminars, tabletop events, in Pearson. And then one last thing, on Friday from 2 to 4, Randy Collett, we're holding a retirement reception. Just come and go, visit with him. Friday between 2 and 4 p.m.
Tell him I'm in France.
Sure will.
Must be nice.
Okay, public forum, anyone wish to speak from council? in public forum.
Hi. I know you guys have had a long night, so I'll keep it quick. Last year, we started, Cowboy Christmas, and we hosted it at the county lake. This year, we wanna try to bring that foot traffic into town. We have utilized several of the business fronts downtown, but we would like to have a backup plan for overflow, with extra vendors and things like that. Typically, the city building rents for $300. And we're asking that you guys approve or allow us to rent the city building for $100 that day. That's the lower cost that you guys should, charge for special events or nonprofit events in town. That's what we paid last year at the county lake to rent the whole lake hall. I don't wanna raise the booth prices for any of our vendors or anything like that, so we would like to just carry over the pricing and stuff. But with your permission, we would like to use that building, or the city building for our trade show here in town.
What's the date?
It would be December,
I'm sorry,
December 4th.
December fourth?
Weekend after.
We had a really nice turnout last year, and thank you all for letting us close the street for our street dance. We had a really big turnout. Restaurants were really busy. I saw people walking around with Gambino boxes and food. I think we had a really good time in our community, and we need more volunteers for next year, but, definitely excited to have some things going on here in town. Thank you.
Yeah. What's that?
If you're willing to take action on it, you can this evening. Staff, unfortunately, we are given the pricing structure of for-profits are $300, nonprofits are $100. If you'd like to, somebody just needs to make a motion to second it.
Okay.
I so moved.
Been moved. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
City Council, I have a question about the parking that you were regarding, why the zoning and planning commission board is not enforcing new construction handicap parking rules and regulations like they should be. Taco's Food Truck did put in a pad, but they have yet to put any signs, paint anything, or make it an accessible parking spot. For instance, today when we drove by, the designated spot for the handicap spot that should have been in the planning and zoning to begin with, because it's new construction that happened, but it's not being enforced. Today I went up there, and I wouldn't even have been able to park there because there's vehicles blocking, because he doesn't have a designated sign, and it's not being enforced by the city or the planning and zoning when it got approved. I'm just asking of why that's happening.
I think that EDH is waiting on the signs for one thing, they've not been able to get the signs.
I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about Taco's Food Truck.
Well, yeah, I know.
You know, I'm not talking about the other stuff because I can't talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking about businesses that have been built, private entities that had to go through planning and zoning.
Okay, what I'm saying is, if the city can't even get signs, maybe they can't either, I don't know.
We were actually told you guys have had the signs in for a while,
No,
just haven't
actually-
put them in.
We was waiting on a
We're
bit.
talking about two different
We
things.
can't talk about that. That's attorney-client privilege. Their attorney needs to talk to our attorney in regards to anything in the downtown area.
I'm not talking about.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah,
He's
no,
not-
I'm talking about this.
He's not referencing that at all, so, no.
I'm referencing
Exactly.
private businesses that have done upgrades, that have new construction, that planning and zoning or nobody's enforced rightfully. I mean, right now, there's six businesses that we identified that are in violation of federal laws that supersedes state laws. And so
So that wouldn't that have to be enforced by federal law then? I mean, we
It's-
don't
the
enforce
city-
federal law.
I'm not an enforcer. We've had a lot of turnover in zoning, I'm glad to visit with you. And we are trying to get some of that cleaned up.
And I'm not
But,
just-
a lot of this I inherited, and I'm glad to visit with you.
I appreciate that, there's been mentions of it before to the council and nothing's gotten done. I don't know if that's because the planning and zoning has gone the way it has, but even private businesses are still not wanting to adhere to it, even when we bring it up to them. The only one that's adhered to it was the actual school district that said, we've got signs, we're gonna put them up, we're gonna repaint some spots, and actually, they have more than sufficient parking, because they actually went over the amount of spots that were needed. And they're replacing signs that have been hit by vehicles and whatnot. But some of the other businesses are hesitant to even want to put up signs or paint, because they're saying it's taken away from their other parking.
If you get with Margot, I think you can probably find out what, you know, what is needed.
Glad to visit with you.
Yeah,
We talked about that.
okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Anyone else?
I would just like to kind of piggyback off of him and touch on this briefly. It's not often I agree with a lot of the things that happen in the council meetings or the decisions that come out, but tonight was kind of a breath of fresh air to see, you know, some really positive things happening in our city, especially for the employees of the city. That's really key. We do need the retention here. And it's showing how bad our city is hurting through the lack of help. The only thing I can say as a negative on that is there's an obvious massive tension in the air between Ruth and David that really is a huge damper on progress. You guys, I wish you guys could really work your stuff out so that we can quit circling wagons and having this constant member showing contest, and maybe then we can make some progress that is gonna be good for the betterment of everybody here. But thank you guys for some of the real positive, decisions made tonight on behalf of the council. It's appreciated and it's noted.
Okay. Anyone else? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I moved to adjourn the meeting.
I second that. Those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
Upstairs on the left as well. Yeah.